Hey, g'day, Rudy here. So I put a message out yesterday asking for some benchmarking against the old MVR. On the back of the MVR video seems to be beating a lot of ETFs that we have on the ASX, and I reckon should be a core holding. So are there any other ETFs or stocks we should benchmark against? Had some good feedback here. Mr. Monk, he's given me a whole bunch. One ETF, MVW, and then we've got ARB, Souls, Goodman, CSL, Car, Real Estate, Computer Share, Cochlear, Aristocrat, AP Eagers, JBH, WiseTech, Brambles, and then throws in Net Wealth, all hot stocks. I asked him which ones he reckons will win, and he's put some there, so we'll see how he goes. Then we got, can we from Davina, can we compare some REITs? So we got some REITs, DXI, BWP, and COF. Then we got from Pixel. He likes the hot stocks. This one, Gear. So that's the leveraged ASX ETF. Then we got from Billy, DVP. It's got a pretty hot chart pattern, that one, the old cup and handle. And then we got Khan, the old QRE versus MVR. So let's see how they go. So we start off by looking at the benchmark. Okay, and we're going to look at monthly candles here, because I'm not saying this is like a trade for the next 1 month, 6 months. This is like a 5-year investment theme going on here. So there'll be ups and there'll be downs, but I reckon there'll be more ups than downs. So this is the fella, MVR. Alright, so let's see how he goes against the competitors. Okay, so actually there was another we had FEMX. We got some emerging market ETFs that came in after the gated close, but I thought I'd include. So this is MVR over FEMX. So this is a emerging market ETF. So, and the way you approach it, right, is if you would buy it, that means MVR is a better investment than whatever we're comparing it to. Okay, so if you wouldn't buy it, so it's either going to be a buy, hold, or sell. Okay, so if that was a stock, I'd buy it. So you've got some shooting stars, monthly candle green, so MVR over FEMX. Okay, MVR over IAA. So that's another emerging market ETF. Now that's at this stage a hold with a bias to buy. Just needs to do a little bit more, but it doesn't look bearish. Okay. So MVR over IEM. So this is another emerging markets. Okay, so that's a lovely green candle below support here, so that's a buy. Alright, now we've got an infrastructure, VBLD. So this is a global infrastructure stock, so that's a buy. You'd buy that. So that's okay. Now we got actually this is a really interesting one, so I'll show you the actual DVP. So they're a bit of I was told there's a bit of a mineral resources. They're mining services with a bit of copper, zinc, lead, silver, lithium. Not mining, but exploration. But it's got a lovely cup and handle chart there. So they're only making money through their mining services. It's a lovely chart, but it's okay. So let's compare MVR to DVP. Okay, so this is DVP kicking ass. So I'd have to give it to well, at this stage it's a hold, but usually a consolidation pattern goes in the direction of the former direction, which is down, and given it's a nice cup and handle, biases to DVP on this one. So that's just what it is. Okay, so this is the gentleman who's given us all the hot stocks to compete, and these are the ones he reckons will win. So his first one was the ETF MVW. I think that's the equal weighted one. So that's a buy. So that takes out MVW. Okay, ARB. So he reckons he would win on this one. Technically that's a hold. Biases to the upside, but you really want it. You want to break here for any sort of conviction. So no one. That's a hold. So I don't know if a win's a hold or not. Anyway, okay. MVR over Sol Pats. Okay, this is a interesting one. A bit of history in this one. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Certain levels of support here. So if I was I was going to say gambling man. No, I'm just as an investor, I would rather buy that than sell that. And I don't really like Sol Pats. So I think they're a bit of hype, but I reckon they're at a 1, 2, 3. I reckon they're at a triple top there. Anyway, go back to so MVR over Sol. I reckon you'd buy MVR over Sol. It's interesting because Sol's got a big holding in New Hope Corporation. Actually, someone. All right, enough. Okay, so now Goodman Group, MVR over Goodman Group. Okay, well that's a pretty good. That's definitely not a sell. We've got higher lows here. It's not a buy, like officially, technically, until it breaks up. So that's a hold. So that's not a win, because it's definitely not a sell. That's for sure. MVR over CSL. So it's pitting up against some pretty good stocks here. So again, technically, it's not a buy, it's not a sell, it's a hold. Needs to break some direction. Okay, car sales. He reckons car sales would win. Okay, so if that was a stock. Okay, so you got the break of a declining wedge, which is bullish, but you got some severe resistance here with a pin bar candle there. So while these are usually bullish, it can. So that's a hold. It hasn't broken support here, because you do tend to get a break, come back, test. So that's a hold. Getting a few holds here. REA, he reckons this would be a winner. Similar chart pattern, really. Because he's going up. I mean, these ones he's thrown at us, they're all at all-time highs, basically. So again, we've got a bullish break of a declining wedge. A break, trying to find some form of support. So that's no proof in the pudding here yet. Definitely not a sell, and conservatively not a buy. Alright, let's just have a look at REA. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's a buy. So you compare two buys against a buy, see who wins, eh? Okay, computer share. MVR over computer share. Okay, well, we've had 6 months of basing there, so technically I'd buy that and wait to see for price action up here. And if it started to fall away, then it's a sell. So I'm going to say that's a buy. Okay, Cochlea. Interesting one. Ranging. As I said before, ranging usually goes in the direction, so bias is down. But there's been some, I reckon there's one of these things coming. So I'd rather, if that was a share, I'd buy it rather than sell it. Okay. Okay, MVR over Aristocrat. Okay, I don't mind Aristocrat. I think I'll put a buyout on Aristocrat, so I've got to be careful. No, I don't. Okay, so pretty strong. So Aristocrat's been a long time. Well, this is outperforming. Consolidation. Broke below support. Broke here, coming up. Technically, you say it's a is it a kiss goodbye or not? At this stage, it's not a sell or a buy. So you want to see a bit, either a green candle up here or a red candle down there. So that's a draw. MVR over AP Eagers, another hot stock. So that's probably a sell. Although what you'd want to see is a nice red candle. Well, if we've got a nice green candle, so it's a hold, then we're waiting. Okay, MVR over JB Hi-Fi. Long term JB's been kicking ass. You have to, at this stage it's a hold. That's 6 months of sideways. So you're waiting for a big green or a big red. Biases to the downside though. Okay. MVR over Weiss Tech. Interesting. Could be potentially, that's a very, if it breaks, very bullish. Technically it's not a sell, because this is forming a bullish pattern. So for it, you'd need some red candles. So that's another weight. Okay, MVR over Brambles. Okay, so it's broken support. So technically in the short term that's a buy. So you're waiting for a run up here and then see if it breaks or test. But in the short term that's a buy. Okay, net wealth. Let's have a look. So look. So this is the type of stock we're going up against. Net wealth here, all-time highs. Anyway, MVR over net wealth. Okay. I'll have to go to a weekly chart. That's a hold, really. Be very bullish. If we get a green candle here, that's a really long-term bullish buy. Doesn't look bearish to me. So let's just call it a draw at this stage. But that's looking really juicy for a buy. So yeah, so really you wait if net wealth falls over. Okay. Oh, this is MVR over SLF, which is a listed property trust ETF. It's got a bunch of them in there. So that's a hold. Breakthrough there as a buy. Good support there, so there's no clear winner there. Okay, so these are the ones that Davina gave. So there's your rounded bottom. Breakthrough, so that's a buy. That's a clear buy. MVR over BWP. Okay, so that's the biases to the upside. A breakthrough there would confirm, so it's definitely not a sell. MVR over COF, that's a buy. These are getting a bit easier. That other guy knew this was going to happen. That's alright. It's probably a bit of fun. Okay, so that's a buy over COF, so that's easy. Now we're getting some easy ones. Okay, I thought I'd throw in, no one asked about this, but I did. Because I had Coles and Woolies as a buy, because I think they are a buy. But that looks like that's a buy. So MVR's beaten Coles. Okay, this is an interesting one. So MVR over QRE. So this is the other resource ETF you can get. The difference, the big one, is QRE is basically overweight BHP. Whereas MVR has a cap of an 8% weighting. I think QRE is like 35%, 40, 30 BHP. So I'd rather MVR just because it means some of the companies down the bottom end have got more of a weighting than BHP, which is what you want. Okay, enough Rudy. But it's forming a long-term bullish pattern, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. But would I sell that? No. So technically you'd wait for confirmation for it to break. But just theoretically I'd rather have a more spread weighting than overweight BHP. Good comparison though. Okay, and then the last one we've got here is MVR over gear. So this is MVR over the geared ASX300 or 200, I don't know. But it's a geared Australian share market index. So technically it's a hold. So you can see here, so this is April, so this is when the share market wobbled and went down. MVR outperformed. So at this, if you had a if you had a geared MVR over the gear, I reckon it'd be winning, but it is what it is. So that's a hold. It's not a buy. It's not a sell. So MVR versus gear is a draw, I reckon. All right, thank you everyone for giving those suggestions in. Still looking for an ETF. I know there's some the US based ETFs that are beating MVR, but I don't know if there's any other ASX ones apart from this gear maybe. All right, and as I say, before you should rank your portfolio. Don't buy anything until you compare it to MVR as a nice benchmark for the next 5 years. All right, see ya.